Hi guys, let me show you how to take your drawing when you're finished and bring it into Photoshop and save it the way I would like it to be saved. So if you don't have Photoshop, I will provide a link for you. Photoshop is free. This is a great link to get it from, and it provides the key right from the get-go there. So once you have Photoshop, open your image. Now, this is straight from my camera. I took the photo beside an open window, so no curtains. So I'm getting pretty uniform light here. But, I mean, there's still a few issues and we can work that out really easily. So first I'm going to rotate the image. Image rotation 90 degrees clockwise. I'm also going to have a look at how big the picture is too, because we need it to work with 150 dpi. So it's width and height, good amount of pixels to work with. So whatever camera or scanning device or even your phone, if it's got a good enough camera on it, make sure it's at a very high megapixel range. So I've rotated the image and I'm just copying because I like to see the piece underneath. So before I crop, I've got these rulers at the top and the side there, and to get those I hold Control R to turn those on and off. And if you click and drag, it'll give you guides. So you can see how straight up and down your image is here. Now, remember, you're scanning page 69 with your drawing on it. I don't have a drawing on page 69, so I'm just going to work with what's here. So we want to see how straight this is. All right, so I'm going to crop it. And now what I'm going to do, so it doesn't matter if it's too clean right now, we'll clean it up later. Now what I'm going to do is, you're seeing that the page isn't fully straight. So what I can do, especially if it's on its own layer, so if you haven't copied that, you might want to copy it now. To copy, click, drag to this little guy here. So I'm going to go to Image, Edit, Transform. We're going to go Skew. Now, Skew will give you the four corners and the pieces in between, and I can straighten those lines up according to the guides there. See that? Just like that. So now, but you don't want to do it too much because you still want your general proportions that were there. I mean, the flatter the drawing, the better, but I did take kind of a not great picture just to show some of the issues you may run into. So this is pretty much as straight as we're going to get. Works for me. I hit enter. So now we can see the difference there. So it did skew it a little bit. So just to put the proportions back, I'm going to make this a bit see-through. I'm going to use V. If I hit V, or come over to your toolbar, go to move that back up to place, move this over. No, didn't skew it too much. The proportion's pretty fine, so I'm okay with that. All right, so before I do anything else, I'm going to hit Control N or File, New. Now we wanted 8.5 by 11, 150 dpi. You can go to Preset. US paper is 8.5 by 11. So I'm just going to click US paper, 8.5 by 11 inches. And I'm going to bring the resolution down to 150. So I've got a new file there. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go Control A, which is select all. Control C, which is copy. Come over here, Control V. So edit, paste. And you'll notice it's bigger than the spot. So that's okay. We're going to transform it. You can do that by hitting Control T, or you go Image, Edit again, Transform. We're going to do Scale. I'm going to zoom out because I can't see my whole piece here. To do that, I'm hitting Control, I'm holding Control and hitting minus. If you don't want to use a hotkey, just come to your magnifying tool here, go to minus up at the top corner, and you can do that. So while I translate this or scale it, if I hold Shift, it will keep my proportions. So hold Shift as you do this and drag it to the size of the window. Now we don't need the ring parts there, and it's just easier to not have them. So just crop to the rings. Okay, hit enter when you're done. I'm going to hit V to move. So there's a bit of writing down there, and I'm just going to pop it up for a nice composition. So what we need to do now, so Control plus is zooming in. Now we need to adjust the level. So we've got the proper size. This is now 150 dpi, 8.5 by 11. So I have a little bit more editing left to do. I'm going to adjust the levels because you see some pieces here are dark, some pieces here are light. We want a nice balance between light and dark. So if I hit Control L, or if you want image, maybe it's edit, where is it? Whatever, hit Control L. Control L will do it. So there's your levels. So here's your histogram. What this is your lights, and this side is your darks. So if you've got a jump here, it means pure white doesn't start happening till this line. Pure dark doesn't start happening till this line. You don't really need to know that too much, but adjust them a little bit. I'd say that works for this one, but you don't want to overdo it, because look what happens when I blow this up completely. It starts to look kind of ugly. But while this looks generally okay, I'll show you how to fix that as well. So the levels are a bit tricky here because I have so much light there and so much dark here. So that's why it's much better to get a nice uniform photograph from the get-go with lots of light sources and no shadows. But we can still fix this. So what I'm going to do is there's this tool here. It's called the dodge tool. It might not be there right away. So if it's this little hand, all you have to do is click and hold. Left click, right? Yeah, left. Dodge tool. See how my brush is nice and big. So I'm going to hit right click while I'm on the brush so you can see your hardness and your size. So bring your hardness down to 0 so it's a nice soft, fuzzy brush. And then you do want your size to be pretty big. So I'm going to set it to, let's see, maybe 1500. Now I'm going to go to my range. So what I want to do, you got range here, shadows, midtones, highlights. Now you don't want to touch your darks. What we're going to do is we're going to lighten the paper. We're going to lighten this gray part of the paper there without lightening the darks behind it. So if we set it to highlights, because the lightest piece is there, this should come out. Exposure I'm going to keep on 10. You might want to go a little bit lower, but here's what starts to happen. So I just kind of click like this and lighten the page where I need to match this light in the bottom left hand corner. If you want to make the brush bigger or smaller, you can hit the square brackets. So if you find backspace, underneath there's a line, and then you've got these square bracket thingies, and they'll make it bigger and smaller. So I might want it a bit smaller in that corner there. I'm getting a lot of dark right here. Get a bit smaller, 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 smaller. So it's a great little tool. Yours shouldn't be as hard to edit because my book is really beat up. So I've got a lot of junk going on there. Okay. Now that it's more even, I can even go see it in thumbnail view. Sometimes that helps me see where I need to brighten. Okay. So here's our difference between the two. And we haven't overblown our darks or our lights. So now I'm going to copy the layer again, hit Control L, and now as I adjust the levels, I've got a little bit more room. But you know what? I'd say this is pretty close. Might bump up my lights a little bit more, but you want it to look as close to your drawing on paper as possible. So you know what? I'd say this is pretty close. Now, if you have any junk on your page, like I do in this top right corner, which you shouldn't, just erase it to begin with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clone stamp. I've hit S. I'm going to make sure it's nice and soft. I'm going to enlarge it up a bit. I'm going to come in here. So most of you could probably stop watching this at this point, because you won't have to worry about this. But I'm just going to fix it while I'm here. So I'm using the clone stamp. I've got it on a new layer and I'm sampling from current and below, so it's taking all the layers. I have some stuff coming back in there, that's okay. I will fix that. Photoshop is a wonderful, magical tool. Okay, so I'm just gonna erase that was there. Erase the extra white. Zoom in. Clone stamp. There, it's gone. Alright. So I am getting some writing coming through. Let's see if I can help that. I mean, I understand and I can see past it, so it's not a huge deal. But if we do this, this will start to get rid of it. But you're kind of blowing out your relative lights and darks, so that's the only problem there. So if you find a happy medium between them, should be fine. Should be fine. Maybe there. I'm going to fade that. All right. Okay. So, I mean, yours will be much cleaner because you've got a nice flat book, but once you've adjusted your levels, everything's nice and straight up and down. You've got it in 8.5 by 11 at 150 dpi right here. Now we're going to save it. So, let's go File, Save As. Come down to the format, go to JPEG. You can just hit J and it'll jump right to it. Hit enter. You're going to name it last name, first name, A1. Hit enter and you get a dialog box. Set the quality to, because it also shows you how big the file is going to be. Let's make it 9. Right there. And if you want to see, there's another way you can save a JPEG. You can also do File Save for Web, which is here. It's also Alt-Control-Shift-S. Let's make that smaller so we can see. 33. And so you can change your quality here. Here's your original, and here's the new quality. You can't necessarily see it there, but JPEG, if you're not careful, will start to give you jagged edges. But save at 8 or 9, either is fine. I won't notice the difference between the two. Yeah, see those jaggeds coming up? Anyway, pretty much everything you need to know at this point you've got. If you have any questions, email me. If this went too fast for you, just rewind, pause at the points. I figured a video would be the best way to go about it. So the next thing you're going to do is you are going to upload it to Blackboard, which log on to Blackboard, go to assignment 1, and submit it that way. That part's not too difficult. So this is due by 12. Right, by 12 o'clock on Thursday. So make sure you're doing this Wednesday night. Make sure you download Photoshop early in case you run into any problems. If for some reason you can't get Photoshop working, you may have to come into a lab and work that out. And I mean, the drawing can be done pretty much in a few hours in the night if you really have to work at it. So just get it done early. And I look forward to seeing your assignments. All right, bye.